What's up, music and audio nerds? It's Enrique Lloreda here, and I've got something really special for you today. Check it out. Let's do this. So today I'm going to be talking about how to make your Logic Pro X drums sound more professional, more real, more aggressive, and more punchy with a really special sample pack by Joey Sturgis and Dave Otero. If you don't know who these guys are, definitely check them out, Google them up. These are amazing producers in the metal and heavy genre with a wide catalog of amazing records, so definitely check them out. First of all, a huge thank you to Joey Sturgis for reaching out to me and asking if I wanted to try this new sample pack. This guy is a legend, and he also has a company called Joey Sturgis Tones, which makes amazing plugins that I use every day. Joey's concept behind what he does is creating amazing tools that are easy to use and that will sound amazing, so anyone can make their music sound good without having to know the really technical aspects of how a compressor works, what's the threshold, what should my attack and release times be. You just pop it in. It has some nice and intuitive parameters. So definitely check out his other stuff at joeysturgistones.com. I'm going to leave all the links in the description below. So if you're like me and you work out of a home studio and you can't really record drums at your place because it's an apartment and you would really bother your neighbors and that wouldn't be nice, you probably program your drums in your DAW. So if you typically program your drums in Logic but you're kind of tired of how they sound, I might have the solution for you. By using a technique called sample replacement, you can use different samples to make your drums really pop and have really specific tones. This sample pack by Dave Otero has some really interesting sounds, which as soon as you pop them into Trigger, which is what I use to do my sample replacement, they're gonna sound amazing. This pack has some really interesting dry and mix samples of snares, kicks, and toms that are really gonna help your drums cut through the mix better with more aggression, punch, and character. Let's dive into Logic and I'll show you how this works. All right, so we're in Logic Pro X right now, and I recorded a little hard rock / metal track. Here's how it's sounding. All right, so it sounds pretty good, pretty okay. For the drums, I used Logic's stock heavy kit. It's one of the kits that I like to use the most, but you can definitely choose whatever works for you. However, this kit is definitely lacking some life, some punch, some aggression, and more of a real character to it. So that's where we're going to use the Dave Otero samples. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split each MIDI note of this kit in order to have each part of the kit separated. To do that, you're going to need to select all the regions of your kit, press Command J for join, and you're going to have one region for your kit. Now we're going to do a right click on the region, and we're going to go to separate by note pitch. Now we have each part of the kit separated as a MIDI track. So I'm going to go and see what each part is. So this is probably going to be my kick. Yes. So I'm going to label that kick. This is probably going to be my snare. Yeah, that's the snare. And so on until you have each part labeled correctly. All right, so now I have each track labeled correctly. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce each one of them into an audio file. Before you do this, make sure that the sound of the kit is pretty close to what you want to achieve. So the kick, snare, toms, and cymbals should be pretty close to the overall sound that you're going for. So now let's convert each MIDI region into an audio file. And to do this, it's the same process. Right click on each one and bounce in situ or bounce in place. And you're gonna label each one accordingly. So kick, I'm gonna take this option off and looks good. There we go. Bounce in place, and now you get a nice audio file for your kick, and you're gonna do that for each part of your kit. We're all set. So now I'm gonna hide all the previous MIDI tracks. To do this, select all of them with Shift, press H. That's gonna open the hide option. Click on it and press H again. There we go. Now it's all audio for our kit. So what I'm gonna do now is replace the kick, snare, and toms with samples from the Dave Otero pack. To do this, I use Trigger by Slate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate the kick, snare, and each tom by pressing Command D, and I'm gonna drag each of the audio files into the new track. We're all set. So now I can load up Trigger in each of the duplicate tracks, and we're gonna look for samples that work for this track. So when you open the browser in Trigger, you're gonna see all your drum samples. And here's the Dave Otero pack. So now let's quickly go over what we have. The cool thing is that you can load any combination of samples that you want. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the Slate kick because I feel like that one has a nice raw quality to be my main kick. And I'm gonna use the Wolf Kick Smack Enhancer to enhance a little the high-end attack. And I'm also gonna use the Wolf Kick Reverb to get a bit of a room sound. So here's how that sounds. All right, that sounds pretty freaking cool to me. So I'm gonna bring the Smack Enhancer down a bit to get a bit more of the raw sound. And I'm gonna bring the reverb down a bit. And here's how that sounds. Perfect. So this is doing exactly what I wanted to do, which is provide some nice low end on the kick and also some nice smack and attack in the high end to make it cut through the mix, especially for those fast double kick parts at the end. So depending on whether you like the stock Logic kit or not, you can use a combination of the Logic kit and the Dave Otero samples, or just the Dave Otero samples. So I'm just gonna use the samples because I like how that sounds. Then it's just the same deal for snare and toms. You just load up Trigger and the duplicated track and look for samples that you think are gonna work well for your song. All right, so after selecting some really cool samples, here's what I ended up with. I used samples for my kick, snare, and all toms, and my cymbals are still the ones from the Logic Pro X stock drum kit. Here's what the Logic drums sound like compared to that. That's pretty cringy. Man, these Dave Otero samples are really making the drums come to life. They have a lot of smack, a lot of attack, and they just give the drums a really nice character and aggression. Let's see how the whole song is sounding with the Dave Otero drum samples. And then I'm gonna play the Logic drums so you can compare them. Holy freaking crap. That's incredible. The drums have so much life with these samples, that's ridiculous. Now let's see what the Logic drums. Holy shit, that's a night and day difference right there. The Logic drums, they sound okay, but they're just not cutting it in certain parts. I feel like the Dave Otero drums shine especially when the double kick drum comes in. The Dave Otero samples just make the song sound a lot more radio ready. The Logic drums do tend to have a more stock and kind of programmed and artificial drum sound, but these Dave Otero samples are really giving the drum some life. Now I'm gonna do a little demo where I change between the Dave Otero samples and the Logic drums every 4 bars so that you can compare them more accurately. I don't know about you, but that's insane to me. I haven't done any processing at all to the Dave Otero drums, and they already sound like a mixed drum kit. These samples give you a really nice low end in the kick, snare, and toms. They also give you a really nice attack with the smack enhancers, and they just have a really nice character. They are super aggressive, super punchy, and they just feel really real and really powerful. The Logic drums are really lacking some definition and just some real character, and they're not really cutting well through the mix. So there you have it. This is the Dave Otero drum sample pack by Drumforge. This is a tool that's going to step up your drum production crazily. It's going to make your programmed drums just sound a lot more real, more radio ready, more punchy, have more attack, more smack, more character. It's just going to sound a lot more like the music you hear on the radio than the Logic drums, in my opinion. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you like this product, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. As always, if this video was valuable to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Enrique Lloreda, and I'll see you next time.